Immediately after, he let go of the doctor's hand, and the doctor went that into the endless darkness, while everyone in the room thought it was just. Meanwhile, after the chaos, everyone was worn out and decided to rest before moving forward. Time flew. The mustachioed man took advantage of snows to sneak away with Nathan, acting like an undercover agent. He said useless people would hinder them, but if he and Nathan cooperated, they'd find the exit. Little did he know. The kind Nathan surprisingly rejected his proposal, so he threatened Nathan to come along. He needed Nathan to figure out the safe rooms, but Nathan remained innocent. Nathan, being weak, couldn't put up a fight. Just as he was panicking, was suddenly charged from behind like a wild animal and attacked the mustachioed guy. She took a nasty fall that left everyone in complete shock, and it dawned on them all of a sudden. It turned out the mustachioed guy killed the female doctor for revenge, but knowing the truth didn't help, as no one could rival him. After unveiling the ugly truth, the mustache man was furious with Woz, while Nathan could only helplessly sit like an innocent bird. Then, the enraged mustache man tossed Woz into a room to test him, only to find him unscathed, laughter echoing. Woz laughed in confusion until he spotted the body on the floor, at which point the joke finally hit. The mustache guy finally understood that they had returned to the very first room, and lying there was the body of the old man from ages ago. Everyone was in despair. This place had no exit, and chances of leaving alive were nearly zero. Were they really going to die here? Clearly not. As everyone lost hope, Will stumbled upon something. This room where they encountered death had another room next door, but now the outside looked like the edge of a Rubik's Cube. Strangely enough, they hadn't returned the square one. Instead, every room inside the cube was moving ceaselessly according to a specific pattern, and if they wanted to successfully find the exit, they would have to first locate the original coordinate point. Only when all the rooms inside the cube returned to their places would the real exit appear, but Nathan calculated that time was running. Is there still time? More importantly, they can't avoid traps precisely. In theory, Nathan can identify trap rooms, but the data is huge. Unless there was a computer right now, no one could figure it out by mental calculations. However, just then, the fool, always protected by everyone, was forced into a tight spot. Shockingly, the fool suddenly spoke up. It turned out he was a math genius, even more talented than Nathan. Nathan quickly mapped out the route to the safe room, and after getting the answer, the mustachioed man tested Woz. Fortunately, Nathan's deduction was right. Woz didn't trigger traps. The survivors saw hope again, with the fool's help. They swiftly moved through several rooms, but suddenly Woz slammed the iron door on the mustachioed man, attempting to block his path. Meanwhile, Nathan continued his frantic search for an exit, and to everyone's surprise, they managed to unite and overcome the issue posed by the mustache guy, only to find themselves stepping into an entirely new room shortly after. Just then, the cube started rotating again, sending the fool to an unknown location before he could escape. However, when Nathan and Woz were in despair, they heard the fool's voice. It hadn't moved too far, so they decided to go back and look for the fool. Risky as it was, they couldn't just leave him behind. Eventually, soon after, they finally found the way out. The light of victory shone on everyone's faces, but suddenly Woz decided. He hastily urged Nathan and the foolish one to evacuate the place as soon as possible. However, Nathan abruptly displayed a look of pain, and the ambience of the entire scene became exceptionally tense and uneasy in an instant. It turned out the mustache man wasn't dead, had come to kill Nathan on the spot. Upon seeing Nathan dead, Woz let out a pained roar and grappled with the mustached man in a fit of rage, but he was no match for the mustachioed guy at all. Meanwhile, the mustachioed man picked up a rod, stabbing Woz, while the fool bolted out like a superhero. Not to be outdone, the mustachioed man grabbed onto the fool's clothes to escape, but Woz held onto him with every last bit of strength. Soon enough, time snipped the mustached man's lifeline amidst the chuckles, and ultimately he paid the price for his sins. If everyone had banded together from the start, perhaps they all could have safely made it out. But human selfishness is utterly dark. Thus, Rose and Nathan remain trapped forever, and after all the turmoil, only the fool managed to escape from this cursed place, stepping into the light. This is an obscure yet compelling horror thriller film that few have seen, and it's one of the original escape room movies in its own right. Released over 20 years ago, it's only watched by tens of thousands. Even Saw drew inspiration from it. This movie is titled Panic, and without any further delay, let us all witness together just how extraordinary a story it unfolds for us. At the start, in a lab, 8 people were trapped in plastic bags. In a daze, one woman saw a man in white. Moments later, she woke up in a bizarre room, totally confused about how she got there. When she spotted multiple doors on the walls, curiosity got the best of her, and she touched one, surprisingly making it swing open. But as she was about to enter the next room, odd things started happening. She was suddenly yanked away by a mysterious force. The scene shifted to the bespectacled man in another room, who appeared extremely anxious, as if looking for something. Suddenly, fear flashed across his face. He seemed terrified of something, picking up a black box and muttering what it should contain. But when he opened it, he found it empty, plunging him into immediate despair. As the camera panned out, it was revealed to be a strange cubicle room, with each room boasting 6 doors leading to other rooms. Clearly, the bespectacled man was trapped, couldn't find an exit, and heard the woman's wails. It seemed he wasn't the only one stuck. Who knew how many of these mysterious rooms were out there?